Time is now. Run. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, the Metropolis Times. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. 23 seconds. Oh, it's going for 30 seconds. I did a little practice, but I didn't know exactly. So I'll tweak that a little, get that up to 30 seconds. I guess they call that, what they call that, bumper music. So when I start my show, that bumper music, that would be it for the beginning of, if it's a 3 hour program, the beginning of every hour, I'd have to have it. All right. So this is the final episode of season 1. And then next week will be the beginning of season 2, nonstop. Kind of like Armed American Radio. He's on every Sunday, Mark Walters, and I think he's done it every single week for years and years and years, every Sunday. So I like that. I'd like to do something along those lines. I heard a little of the show today. It's good stuff. Got a new contributor, it sounds like. And I thoroughly enjoyed that show. For politics, it's nice because it's singularly focused on one political issue, and there's always something to talk about when it comes to guns, and they can talk about things that are going on all around the country. It never ends. So I really like that show. It's just I used to deliver pizza, like I wouldn't deliver right now necessarily, but Sunday nights, and so talk radio is a big help for someone like me out there delivering pizzas Sunday night when everyone else is chilling out. I'm kind of chilling out, but I'm kind of working. So let's get the list up. All right. Number 1, YouTube channel. I have two YouTube channels. I have this one, and I have another predecessor to this, and I've talked about it. And so, Alex, thank you, Alex. So, Alex, I just did a check. So, Alex, with his work, has taken No Hope on my other YouTube channel from 250 views thereabouts to 381. Keep on Dreaming is up to like 71 views. I don't know, try to look and see if there's any comments on that or thumbs or yeah. It's not the centerpiece, but it's the song he thought would be the most marketable. So it's nice that that's already on there. If you ever wanted to, just more of a generic name. So to find that on YouTube, it won't happen right away, but that's a pretty substantial. I mean, 381 views. And he said he wanted to see, just to see if he can get up to 1,000. You know, how long has it been? Like 3 weeks, a month? And he just started putting out these flyers a couple of weeks ago. He says it's in 5 cities now. So I don't know. He made I think 1,000 or 1,500 copies. I need to get a few copies and put up a few at least. I have some places I could easily put them. A couple businesses on my route and whatnot. So it'd be fun too. I just think it's better to have someone doing it on your behalf than you doing it yourself. In the perfect world, that's what you would hope for. And since he's willing, and like I said, I do it for you, man. You do it for me. I do it. It's just better. So that's what's up with that. And that's all. With this channel, what I'm doing here, no progress, no plans of progress for the next week. Big progress number 2, Trump's going to thump. Thank you to my wife for her help and her support in getting the copyright. And I want to thank Neil, who's number 4 in this case, for his input to help me realize, and Dale, who helped record that song. He's been doing copyrights himself. And, just to give me the confidence and courage to see if I can do it. And I guess it's legitimately, officially copyrighted. Did everything right, I hope. I'd almost like to have someone review it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we got an election in 2 months. It's just gone out, and whatever happens, happens. So my final step for that song is to get it. I went on ASCAP's website, and I could have probably done it real quick, but I want to check with Dale. I got to get the correct. There's a few Dale Wilsons on ASCAP. I got the right one so he can get in on it. There's the writers and the publishing. So I need to see if he has a separate publishing one too. So this might slow it down slightly, but that's all that's left. If I can get him on the phone, and then there's another problem. I have an issue. My contacts are maybe not all there right now, and the SIM card and all these things take up so much time. I only have one day off a week, and I got to max that thing out. It just goes by so fast. I can't do it hardly anything, let alone do it all. So I do what I can. But that's that. So like I said, once that's done, then I'm just going to start rolling that song out. But let me get that ASCAP done, and then I'm ready to put it out. I did check on Twitter, still below the 8,000. It's at 8,690, so it's not over the 8,700 mark. That's what shows up there, but it is what it is. Battle Hymn of the Parents. I think I saw another email either within this past week from Phil. I guess I would like to try. That's my next. Once I get Trump's going to thump done and put it out, I at least got to get that thing on my website. But I'm just not going to do it ahead of that right now. But it does need to get up on the website. It'd be crazy not to be there. I haven't heard anyone talking about that. The election's out there. Once the political mail starts happening, it'll be interesting to see. In the primaries, it's more candidates, but maybe for the general election, we'll probably see political mail-wise more initiatives. And so since we haven't seen the voters pamphlets yet, I think it's out there. You can easily see what's going to come up on the voters pamphlet. I don't know what's going to wait. Let's hope I can even get my vote in. I failed to get my primary vote in. What a joke. I work at the post office. I left the thing in. It's pathetic. I can do better than that. So, your rules of engagement. So, I'm going to send Neil an email. I do have a question. A couple questions. One, this is good to know. Why not? So, we got the writers' royalties and the publisher's royalties, and then you do the 50-50 in each song, and you've got to assign. So in the case with Dale, we talked about 50-50. He's the composer, I'm the writer. He gets 50, I get 50. The only thing I think seems a little interesting is I am paying him to do something, but then it becomes 50. That just seems interesting to me because I want him to get his share of the credit, and I need to pay him for his time. But then in the end, we become partners. I'm not purchasing his anything. It seems in a perfect scenario, we both work together, collaborate, both put something in, and we both get something out. That to me seems the best. But it is what it is. If that's industry standard, it is what it is. And then you have the publishing portion. So the publishing, I guess that's a separate, I had to create a publishing company. And so I suspect I got to make sure he has a separate publishing company. But when I talked to Neil in the past, it was the same thing, 50-50 writers, 50-50 publisher. Okay, so that's that. The other questions I have for Neil are, I have with my album, I have Luke. Where you at, Luke? How you been? I got to talk to you, man. So, he hasn't done anything in the way of getting, maybe he's got on with ASCAP since or done something for that they call it PRO, producer, publisher, recording organization. It's the acronym, something like PRO. I can't remember what it stands for exactly. But ASCAP's one and BMI is the other big one. So he has that. So what happens? So if some of these songs do really well, and he doesn't put in, I just need to confirm because he hasn't. And where does that money go? The royalties. So What do we do? Do we change it? Do we just leave it out there? And I probably asked Neil in the past, but I'd like to follow up. Third, I want to make a mix album, and I want to put it on YouTube, and that's strictly a couple of my own songs, but 10 songs. Bed of Bread, Volume 13, I believe. Lost some, stole some of my CDs, my mixed CDs. That's criminal, painful. They better be listening to them and enjoying them. But it's a lot of work to do that. But I'd like to share. In the past, I'd make 5 copies, one for myself, 4 to others who were around at the time, and let them hear it. And I will do that again, but then why not be cool to put it up here and let people hear, okay, this is what hip hop, this is good hip hop from my perspective. This is what gets my juices going in terms of hip hop. It's a higher level. So you will be glorified. That's after the election. I will talk to Yumi, Belton Ballers. I'm so thankful for it. I can't really show you. Not supposed to use social media or anything to promote Bellevue Ballers, and I really don't. I kind of stealth with it, but it's the point of it is to create. I mean, we got Lewis at my work, and he's really working on his game, his rap game. But in the end, maybe sign a deal, and I'm open to hearing that. Why not? But if you could self-fund, just like a politician self-fund, then you control your content, your message, you have more control. And that would be the same in music. So that's what that's for. Partially. I mean, it's for a number of things for our family, but in terms of this music, I listen to this country countdown. It's so Matt Stella is his name. So I heard his story. He's a tall dude who's playing basketball. Sounds like he's a believer. Medical missions, going to be pre-med at Harvard. Oh, but by the way, and I should have looked up his background. Oh, by the way, let's get you a publishing deal in Nashville or wherever, somehow as a kid. And so, well, let's see. I mean, he might not have been NBA caliber, 6'7", tall. It's not unbelievable. And I don't know how his game was. And if you're going to go to Harvard, well, that's graduate school, pre-med. Pre-med. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know for sure. Pre-med is undergrad, right? Okay. Yeah, okay, it is. So pre-med at Harvard. So I guess he would, they're not, unless you're Jeremy Lin, you're probably not going to Harvard, going to the MBA. So that probably wasn't going to happen based on what I understand, but, you're going to be a doctor. Oh, hey, how about you just sing? Cool. That's not I've moved everywhere but on. That's the latest number 9 on the CP Top 40. Number 10 is Chase Rice. I'm Lonely If You Are. Loving that song. It's 44 weeks on the countdown. And I'm missing the top songs because I'm in the garage loading my parcels, so I have no reception. So I'm missing them, but I love it. Get to hear the stories. Very inspiring. My Reformation music video, that's on hold for now. Mike's activating a little bit. He's doing the job for the kids. So anyway, just won't worry about that for now. Maybe talk to Alex more. If we get a little more push with Alex, because the way I'd approach is like, okay, Mike, I got Alex here. We really think we got to put this video out. If that happens, move it forward. And now back to the Ryan's music. Number 8, nothing happening with that. Album sales. I did mention it to someone who's on my route and moving. At least I told him I did music. No real interest in it, but at least I let him know. Back to the Ron. And then before I do, I can talk about, and it is related to this, so that's good. I want to do a little research because I was trying to figure out, they had the Black National Anthem before the white national anthem? No, the United States national anthem. No. The national anthem is an anthem, a song for a nation. One thing to say that what do they call it, the Black Super Bowl, the NBA All-Star game. That's cool. But the Black National Anthem, that sounds like something for a separatist movement. Well, you're going to have your own nation, Black nation. Nobody's saying that, but that just seems interesting. And I did a little research if it's true. NAACP adopted that as the Black National Anthem for liberation, and at that time, we're talking about, what do they call it? In sociology, for de facto, de jure, I don't remember which. One is codified, one is like in your face, and one is secretive. It's behind the scenes. And so if you don't have overt, I guess you could say, if it's not overt and obvious that people are not treated fairly under the law, and we're not all equal under the law, it's harder to make, it's going to take a lot more work to make the case compared to, they try to say separate but equal, right? To make it as if there's equality. My attitude is, here, you're talking about Black, nation, we'll do it big. If someone says, hey, we're not going to let you, but you're still a minority group, but minority groups can flourish. And there's a lot of successful Jewish people, right? Now, they're not being turned away as much because of that, potentially, but it's like, it's just straight numbers. Not a lot of folks are Jewish, and many of them very successful. So you can't say it has to be a plurality or a numbers majority. Something more than that. So that's the way, and that's how I would approach it. It's like, okay, how does an ethnic group, or religious group, become so successful? And study it. And what can you learn? That's how I approach things. I look for success, and I want to model myself after success, not try to get people to change who don't want to change. And maybe you won't be able to, might spend your whole life trying to get others to change, as opposed to what can I do for self. So, for this song, I haven't thought about a hook. I haven't thought about hardly the lyrics, but I wrote down the name. NFL Commissioner Fidel Goodell. I haven't been watching the NFL, but I haven't followed the NFL the way I followed baseball and basketball. And not a lot of that's fantasy sports. But I just cannot believe, I can, but you cannot understate how popular football is. And it's why I got into politics, frankly. I got so frustrated with people talking about the Seahawks in the summertime. Can we talk some baseball? And by the way, we don't have the Sonics anymore. But can I just say, when we did have the Sonics, and I used to listen to sports radio religiously. Can't listen to it anymore. I've moved on. At the time, I did. They never talked basketball. They never talked about the Sonics. Ever, ever. Ever, 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 ever. So, maybe David Locke back in the day, post-game show, man, it was good. I really liked the game. So it's very tough. You can't have these political things and, and not act like it. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you aspire to be a star athlete and you start watching and following it. You're not going to watch it and follow it to think, well, maybe I could be the next guy to steal. No, you want to win. You want to perform at a high level. And that's all. And as a kid, that's really what you're thinking about, because that's what you're doing, and you're competing with your peers. And you grow older, you want to compete at a high level, you know, over and above your peers, and that's the measuring stick. Now, when you start talking about politics, there's no measuring stick. It's not a win-loss thing. It's very emotional and it's very subjective, and it doesn't really fit. I mean, I understand it's a platform, but you're not really, because there's no way in an environment like that. I mean, if you want to say you want to raise awareness, just like you want to raise awareness for, say, breast cancer or something, or pink shoes and pink this and that, okay. To the you know to the degree that it hurts the product, how much is it helping the cause? Oh, I like that. I'm going to start the rap like that. To the degree it hurts the product, how much are you helping the cause? How much are you helping the cause? It just seems profound. Because in the end, you want to help the cause. But if you're hurting the product, are you ultimately helping the cause? Because isn't there another way? In other words, can't you further, if you want to raise awareness, I think breast cancer is a great example because no one's exact. I mean, a lot of people are bothered by pink shoes and stuff. It's not masculine. They probably managed to deal with it. But it takes away to a degree. And that's personal. Some people aren't bothered by it at all. I don't know if anyone says it's better. Man, they should have pink shoes all the time. But they might say, yes, it's brought in so much money, it's raised so much awareness. So certainly you could say, yes, you're helping the cause. And the net positive. That's how you figure it out. Is it a net positive? So maybe I can continue with that. To the degree it hurts the product, how much you helping how much you helping the cause? Is it, now this is a rap, but I'm just speaking here. Is it truly a net positive? Um, is it truly a net positive? And I want to say in something to the effect that I'm not positive. Um, I guess I don't know how you'd measure it exactly. And again, is it, you know, is it truly a net positive? And there's so many ways and I guess there's different ways to measure it. Revenue, there's the greater good, And again, a lot of these things, I like Charles Barkley. Right? If he's willing to study like anybody, he going back to that Trayvon Martin, he thought that the jury got it right, and now he got the brand too. The officer said, yeah. Anyway, that's stuff I like. We'll figure it out. We'll walk through it. But how much time? Who's going to really study that? Who's going to take the time? Is it truly a net positive? I can't say, so I'm not positive. Let me write out my numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of, I think starting next season, I'm not going to do these numbers. I'm just going to write at least the first song of the next season. I think I said that last week. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm starting to write a song here. Because at church we're going through this racism or racial reconciliation. So much of it's perception, and that is such a huge phrase. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. And if you perceive that the police are checking you out, perception is reality. Maybe they are checking you out. Maybe they're not. If you believe they are, you're just acting weird around them. Like for me, it's not racial, but maybe it's fear of authority or something. But police gets behind you. Want to make sure you're not speeding. Want to make sure you're using your signal. Come to a complete stop. And that's I've learned that in different jobs. I've had a couple of jobs, like one they're recording me. So, come to a complete stop. We can't keep you in this job. So it's and now I am the only person that comes to a complete stop out on the roadway. But I do, and I don't do it all the time, but it's way more than anybody else, I can assure you. All right, let me see what I have. To the degree it hurts the product, how much you help in the cause? Is it truly a net positive? I can't say, so I'm not positive. To the degree it hurts the product, how much you help in the cause? Is it truly a net positive? I can't say, so I'm not positive. People out here, I guess, players out here, doing what it is they think they need to do. Fans, customers, out here, doing what they got. Now, what I did bring up last week, and I'm running low on time, which is fine. 2 different verses, and I want to explore it more. I talked about Fidel Goodell. I mean, it's kind of like if the players, I don't know if the players are affected to the point where they can't perform at a high level because of it. I don't know if there's somebody like that. For fans, if your heart's not really in something as a fan, you won't support it. You won't put your money towards it. That's very personal. What I was starting to say about football, sorry, and I think I might have said this before. I would swear to you, they have the XFL, which is minor league football. There's more interest for XFL than Mariners, any basketball, anything. Football is king. It is king. Didn't they cancel a couple of conferences like Big Ten? Wow. That's nuts. Football is king, and it's only in the United States of America. You go around the world, there is none in Canada. They got little things in it. It just doesn't have the power that it has in this country. So we'll continue that next week when I get back to the lines on season 2.